I always feel that there is a lot to do and there is less time for me. Younger Ritu would have been a little bit wiser. Maybe I could have got a bit of a better guidance who can just, guide me through my films or the choice of film. For me, marriage, children had never been a hindrance. I mean, friends and his relatives were so excited. So that same Rituparna you're talking about, you are going to marry the same Rituparna. Who is she? Cinema is something completely different. That's talent based. That is not situation based. My actually 11 or 12 films got national award.
She's known for her money spinners and she's known for her critically acclaimed work. From the world of Rituparna Ghosh to the world of Aparna Sen. And besides the money spinner, she's also an actress of formidable reputation. I'm in conversation with arguably Calcutta's, India's finest actor, Rituparna Sengupta. Thank you for being part of this conversation.
Pleasure.
So my first question to you is, 33 years and more and counting, what drives you to acting even today with the same enthusiasm and same zest?
I really don't know exactly how to phrase it, but yes, some indomitable spirit, something which I experience every day when I wake up. There is some kind of a trigger, some kind of an interesting push from inside, and it says that there is more to see, there's more to explore, there's more for you to do. You have to go ahead and do it. So some kind of I don't know, there is some kind of kick which happens inside me, and I always feel that there is a lot to do and there is less time for me. And I don't know, there's some aura or some kind of drive I feel inside me, and maybe that has been there for a very, very long time, and I have exercised it in my way. And of course, people have tremendous expectations out of me, and everybody always want to see me, doing things, making it happen, and some kind of goal has to be achieved.
Yeah, even this year you have 2 money spinners, you have Ajogyo, and it's just been fantastic journey.
Yeah.
So my favorite question, what would you tell your younger self today? If you had to look back, what would you tell your younger self, a younger Ritu?
Exactly, I don't know, but I feel that maybe younger Ritu would have been a little bit wiser, or she should have been more. She should have been tutored or groomed a little bit more in her whatever she did, because I didn't have any experience, or I didn't have any sort of training, or I didn't have any sort of a guidance who could guide me through maybe what kind of things I've done or I shouldn't have done, all these things, because I've took my decisions on my own. Because there was nobody to guide me, and there was no huge social media interference, or there was nobody to just hold me here and put me up there to make me a star or something like that. So maybe all these things, something or the other went wrong maybe in my career, which I feel that it would have been even more better.
Give me a specific example, what went wrong and what went right?
Yeah, supposedly many things are right. I mean, of course, I don't have any regrets though, but I'm just sort of in a retrospect, I can feel that maybe, when I started off in Mumbai or in Bollywood, maybe I could have got a bit of a better guidance who can just, guide me through my films or the choice of films, or, somebody who can actually hold me tightly and say that, what, this is what you're supposed to be doing, and this is how your career would look something like this. So all these things what we do today, so just sort of graph.
But you still, whether it is Tisra Kaun or whether it is, Meri Biwi with Rajpal, Main Meri Patni or Wusati.
No, I've done very.
You should do a sequel now to that.
No, but I've worked with some very eminent directors like Amol Palekar, then Madhur Bhandarkar, then Priya Darshanji, then Partho Ghosh, Chandan Arora. So yeah, I've worked with some very good directors. But I think I could have done better, but still there is time. I'm working on a few others as well.
Let's talk about your career in Calcutta. What do you think was your breakthrough as an actor? Real break, like you did a lot of films. Like for me, I personally saw you in, I think the first time I really woke up was when I saw you in Paromita Redbin, and I was like, oh wow, this is an actor, or when I saw you in Utsav, or when I saw you in Buddhadev Dasgupta's film, Mondomer, I'm sorry.
Mondomer, yeah, that actually won the best film that year.
So, as an actor, what was your breakthrough? You feel personally?
I think my first film was with Prabhat Roy, another very eminent director. It was Shet Patharit Thala, and I worked with all the stalwarts like Aparna Sen, Dipankar De. So I'm quite in awe of them when I just.
What beautiful music!
Beautiful music, Shet Patharit Thala. And that film, Ritesh, that was my first. That is the first and last of my films with R.D. Burman. Because R.D. Burman sir actually composed the music of that film, and it was. It is like a great
moment. Of course.
Yeah, and the songs were really brilliant. So that was one film which actually sort of, got me a lot of name. And of course, people came to know me as a newcomer who has arrived. But she has got light eyes. She's too fair. She has a voice little shrill. I don't know whether she will suit the Bengali film industry or not.
Really?
So that was like a little bit of a few comments here and there. But grossly, people liked, because Shet Patharit Thala was a runaway hit, and also it got the national award for the best family film that year.
It's about
my actually 11 or 12 films got national award. Where I acted. So that was a great break for me from Prabhat Roy. But I can say that after that, I think people sort of took notice of me. I think I did a little TV program called Cinema Wala with Aparna Sen and Dipankar De. That was directed by Dulal Lahiri. That was a ABP program, and that was a beautiful series of a girl, from a sales girl who was becoming a heroine. Other one was, of course, all my commercial stuff which came up after that, like Shujan Shokhi, then Shapun Shah's all the films, then Prabhat Rai's other films, Tumi Eletai, then Khalaghor. But after that, my career took a different turn with Dohon, Paromita Redbin, then Mondo Meru Pakhan, and at the same time I was doing Shoshur Bari Jindabad, then Dosti Mera. All are very big hits. In between, Tisra Kaun happened, and I also my Bollywood journey started, and Tisra Kaun was also Tisra Kaun completed I think almost 25 years, and they had a big blow up on that. So so I was quite happy to the Sippis did that. Pravesh Sippy, and they're very good friends. So it was nice to see looking back, and so many years. Even that film I did with Chunky and Inder called Tirchi Topi Wale, Tisra Kaun, after Tisra Kaun. So I think it's nice to see, nice to look back. But actually, what I can say that I don't have regrets. But I feel that maybe somebody who could have guided me better I could have got some better results.
But you had a fantastic career in Calcutta. I mean, look at you. Do you sometimes catch your breath? Oh my God, 33 years. Very few people in Bollywood, like say Madhuri Dixit, or they have had that. You've had that career. Why I say so also is because there was a big myth that married actors don't get work, they don't, and you one of the few who again proved you did some of your best work.
Yeah, I think I did some of my best after my marriage, and marriage has always been like a very beautiful thing for me, and I never had any inhibitions on that. People had actually, a lot of people.
Did you take long spells between your children? Did you take a long breaks between?
Yeah, we do actually go for holidays. We do actually.
Not that way. Did you, when you had your babies?
Actually, long spells during the pregnancy. Yeah. Of course, not too long, but yes, I was actually working till I was I was 5 months pregnant and all that, so I could actually hide the baby bump. But now people want to show it off, but I actually hid it that time. I didn't know that there was like that time it was like, oh my God, heroine has become pregnant. So all those taboos were there, but I was not too much into it. But still, I felt it was too personal to be displayed and talked about. But yes, eventually people came to know that I was pregnant, and of course they knew that I will be taking a break, and I had my discussions with my directors and producers. So it was like a little closed door thing, but now it's all over the place. People like having tattoos over the baby bumps or whatever it is, it's too amusing for me to see that. But that's how things have changed, how social media has been exploded with all these things. So these are the few things which I have also been seeing these changes, and I am into it. But for me, marriage, children had never been a hindrance. I never felt that this is a hindrance to my career, because I gladly accepted it, because I felt that marriage is very beautiful, and having a beautiful family and life also gives you a lease of new life to come back to your work and enjoy that moments in your work, and then coming back to the family and having a little bit of a time with your kids and all that, and also discussing your work, going back to work again. But it's a difficult balance, that's for sure.
Give me an example of a difficult situation.
Yeah, difficult situation is supposedly my family is in Singapore. My husband lives in Singapore. We have a house in Singapore, and my kids are growing up there. So obviously, so we chose Singapore. We both chose Singapore to be the place, because it's much doable for me from India, because it's a difficult, because if it is in the US, so Sanjay told me that either you will take your life, because it's going back and forth for 24, it's like 14-15 hours coming back and going. It will never work. And also we can't also spend more time, and this is becoming a very difficult time. And he told me that you will become sick. So, taking so many flights in and out of the US would be very difficult. So we were in the US at the beginning, and then we both chose Singapore to be the place, and his work was also taking a turn into Singapore.
So how often do you come from Singapore to Calcutta? So is a long distance the secret of a successful marriage?
Well, yeah, that's a catchy one. To an extent, long distance works when you are both on the same page. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
How do you come on the same page?
We don't actually always, but now I want to say that. No, we don't actually, but sometimes it so happens that, we actually have made an agreement, which is like 10 to 12 days I have to be in Singapore, and the rest of the time I can work. So I said that, look, I cannot give up my work. I've worked so hard for it, and everything I cannot manage from Singapore, because now it is over the Zoom and everything. A lot of things can be actually during the COVID. You remember we did a Zoom, we did a Zoom interview.
Yes.
So now I feel that maybe that's one reason we have actually come into a sort of an understanding, not an agreement, understanding that yes, because we both miss each other also, and also we both miss the kids.
Where are the kids? They are in Singapore.
Yeah, they're in Singapore.
So how old are they now?
So my son is going to the US for his studies, and my daughter is in Singapore. She's in school, and so yeah, they also love Singapore, and they also stayed in India for a little bit, but then now they're both shifted, and but this is nice actually, this arrangement, because I also feel good when I go to Singapore and spend some time, and we go out for dinners and we have a social life there, and my husband has a company there, and he has his own clout and people and friends, so we have got nice.
Do your kids speak Bengali?
Yeah, they do, but
what do you all have major disagreements over?
Time. Time issues, yeah, because that's the major disagreement. Because Sanjay always, even like on Women's Day, he just came back from the US and he had a big program to attend where the president of Singapore would be present and all this. Of course, he wanted his wife to be there, but I had loads coming up this month and next month my release, so I had to pass because it was not possible. So I just said that I'll make it up later to some other program, but this one I can't make it. So yeah, sometimes there is like huge, the showdowns happen, but then we again come back to certain common things.
So are you a high maintenance wife?
That's a nice question. Probably sometimes, yes.
What kind of mother are you? I'm very keen to know. Like, are you an easy or understanding mother? Are you dominating? Are you like that helicopter mom, who's doing 100 things and micromanaging their kids? What
I actually do 100 things, that's for sure. But micromanage, maybe my children can answer.
Like, does your son tell you about his crushes and his girlfriends, and
they do. Actually, they actually share some stuff with me which they want to share. Sometimes they don't want to share. They say, don't be so keen on our lives. You better be what you are. Yeah. Whatever need to be told will be told by us. So that way, they share some very interesting moments of their lives with me, and moreover, more so that I'm not a very nagging mother. Neither I'm I'm not a control freak. I don't like poke or I don't impose things on them. And I feel that nowadays children, if they are pushed too much or they are imposed, or they think that they're suffocated in some kind of a space, they will not have a very normal growth. They also need because they're overtly exposed. It's not me or us who are giving them some lessons every day. They know so much in this world where everything is open to them. They're having so much of experiences on their own.
Are they conscious of the fact that you're such a huge star? Do they like your films? Do they watch your films?
Sometimes they do watch my films, which they feel they should watch, and sometimes they feel that my films are very weird and they don't have any connection with those, and they will, oh mom, you're looking so tacky. Why are you wearing this dress? You're looking. Why did you wear this lipstick? It's looking so odd. Why did you do this hairstyle? Because my past films are like all those hairstyles everybody did. From those from those Bombay Potboilers to our Bengali films, everybody those little
girls
things,
curls
and those hair pieces and all. Oh mom, why did you even have to wear those? Why did you wear this headgear? Why did you wear this sari? What is this color? Oh my god, it doesn't suit you. So my daughter has got too many things to say about me, but she's also very she has her own style statement and all that. So she will wear all those very interesting kind of clothes, the same kind of clothes the children wear. They have a very pretty much same wardrobe. All the friends will buy same things, so they have their own life. That's the way they are. But for me, they're sometimes very curious about what I'm wearing. Oh mom, this is not the dress you should wear for the party. You should wear something more subtle, more this, more that. So I think it's fine. I said okay. Yeah, they actually understand that mom has got some kind of some position or some stand, but how much they're conscious, I really don't know. But I have never given them a sense of that consciousness to be very strong, because I always told them that, look, you have to it's your life has to.
Like if they come with you to Calcutta and when you get mobbed or when you get recognized.
They enjoy that, but sometimes they say, oh my God, mom ke saath jayenge to, my God, we will be bored after some time, because mom is always giving interviews and she will be there with her own part and all that. So sometimes they feel a little left out, but sometimes they enjoy. So,
tell me about your husband. How did you meet him? How long did you date or anything before you got married? And was he conscious of the fact that he's marrying such a huge star? And how, because
maybe
it's not that it's very tough in a man-woman relationship for people to accept the status quo keeps changing. So
no, actually, me and Sanjay, we met very early in our lives, because
like how old were you?
He was in his 10th standard, I was in my 7th. So it was that early, and people say that this is a high school romance. I really don't know what is high school romance, but we actually met in an art school where I used to learn painting, and of course it's like a little bit of a mix of everything, little dance and this is song, and it was called Chitrangshu, where I used to paint and learn clay modeling and origami and all that. They used to take us for a little bit of a strict excursions trips, where they used to give us marks on how we are making the bed, what are your breakfast rules, and all those things, all the sketches we used to get mark on that. And so in those excursions, actually, if you have a friend coming in, you sign up for an extra person and all that. So if you are a student, you can get another friend, or somebody can come as a relative or something like that. So one of our seniors, 2 years senior, there was a guy, his friend was Sanjay, and he signed up for an excursion trip with us. So that's how I met him. That was quite dramatic. So I was, he actually remembered that, I was wearing a Russian hat, and I just walked into the train, and they were all sitting. So Sanjay said, wow, who is this girl now in this trip? So ek ban gaya trip with her. So after that, 1 or 2 excursions, we were there together. But that time I was very young, and I didn't have any sort of feeling like that. But that from that time we had a little bit of a friendship, started off. And then actually he went off to the US after he finished class 12, and he did all his studies there. So after that, he came back after a few years, and that time I also have become a little bit of a star. But then he said, oh my God, where is the little girl gone? There are all the posters around the city, but I can't find the little girl. Where is she? I lost touch with him because somehow we misplaced the numbers and all. That time when we met, there was no mobile and all that stuff. So, and we, maybe I also lost the link between our common friends and all that. So in between there were 2-3 years we didn't meet. But then after that, when he came back, but there was a very sad episode. He lost his father very early age, and he came back, and that time he was looking for me. So somehow again, we reunited and we met, and there was a phone conversation. Then we again started talking, and he came. That time I was shooting in Uti, and he came to my house, and he told my father that this is my phone number. Ask her to call me. So my father said that guy who was there, he came back, art school. So this is the number if you want. But my father was also fond of him because he was very good in studies. So my father's criteria was only one thing: the boy from a good family and good in studies. That was his criteria, nothing else. He came from a very different family. His mother, his father, all were doctors. All are doctors, and but he didn't choose to be a doctor. He became an engineer.
So how long did you
okay,
before you got married?
Okay. So actually, actually,
Were you like a huge star when you got married?
Actually,
Oh, okay.
I was. And I was not. I actually didn't date him that much because we didn't have that kind of flexibility in our family to, you know, to go ahead and date someone. Many ways you want to, like, but I we had a very short stint of
Courtship.
dating, and actually when he came back, he was very stressed because he lost his father. So that time he started making more trips to India because his mother was alone. And so that's how we started meeting, and he also came to know about my profession. And I still remember that time, you know, I got my national award. And
For which film?
Yeah, Dahan.
Dahan.
And then he came to Delhi,
Arey
and
wah.
he was there. That was a very interesting moment. And so those are the things, you know, I felt that, you know, he's there for me, and he's somewhat sort of someone who actually wants to be with me. And so I also had a feeling, because I was very fond of him, and so we didn't like date in that, you know, like in that parameter, I can't say, but we had certain silent understanding that yes, something is happening between us. And so that time he also had girls falling all over him because, you know, he's such an eligible bachelor. He just, you know, fresh out of the US, and he was with a very big company he was working with. So his mother also had a little queue of girls who wanted to be his wife or something like that. So, but I don't know how he battled that, but then he somehow could convince that, oh, he will be marrying me, who is not a conventional person.
Yeah.
She's like somebody out of the way who will come into this family. And his friends and his relatives were so excited. So that same Rituparna you're talking about, you are going to marry the same Rituparna. Who is she? That one. Okay. So he said, yeah, I'm marrying her. So that was quite an interesting trip for us, you know. And the most interesting trip, I must say, the day we thought that we will talk about it to both our parents, like his parents, his mother and my parents. So when she said, when we went to his house, he said that, Mom, this is Ritu. You must be. I went to his place when I was very young. I mean, that time I was in my 8th or 9th standard, and so that is how. And he said, yeah, I know her very well. She's very famous. So when did you plan to get married? No, we just thought that, you know, we should let you know that we are planning to get married, because then she said, yeah, I could feel that pulse before. And she's a doctor, so she had got this very somber personality. So that one was one that we faced very gallantly, her mother, and then we came to my house. And that was a very beautiful situation. My mother and my father, they were completely glued. They were watching television, and in the television, what is happening is the scene. I think from the film Titanic, the last scene was happening. So they had no interest looking at us and talking to us. They said, "Sit, let's finish this, and we'll talk to you." So eventually, we talked about it, and my father said that, yes, if you guys are okay, then we are also okay, but you need to figure out among yourselves, because both of you are very busy right now. So you really need to know your sort of space. And then Sanjay said that, you know what, she's so busy that now if she doesn't get married, she will never get time to get married.
Would you say your success has coincided with your marriage? With the more success you get, the more years you're married. Like, you've been married for over 25 years.
Yeah,
would you say the most successful phase of your career was after marriage? And if yes, what are the rules of negotiating a marriage?
Marriage has not taken a toll on my career. I mean, people have said many things. A lot of people said that marriage would actually sort of subside your career, or that will make a huge difference. But for me, I think I was quite blessed to see a different me after marriage. And also, I made it a point that why women should be written off after marriage. Why? There is no reason. If she is in a good shape, if she's talented, if she's giving her best to cinema. Cinema is something completely different. That's talent based. That is not situation based. Correct. Isn't it?
Correct.
Situation, marriage is a situation in your life, but then it cannot rule over your career. Sanjay, sometimes when you're too focused about your career, so you're not focused about me. So I said, look, I am not defocused about you too. So that way I always felt that there's an interesting chemistry between us, which is sometimes very, it's very overwhelming. Sometimes I felt that, oh my God, what's happening? It's too much on me, this marriage and everything. But at the same time, when I am little bit in my own senses and all that, said, no, marriage is very beautiful,
Has there been a film which you've done, he said, it was not required for you to do?
Yeah, mostly he says that.
Like
why do you need to do this? Why do you do that? Supposedly I have I'm doing a very commercial film where I've got too many songs and dances and all that. So I said, I don't know why these things come and why you need to do this, why you need to choose this role, what is there, what is great in it. I said, you will never understand, because I have got all kinds of audiences. So I really need to do it. Sometimes there are some steamy scenes in the film and he said, why you need to do this? What is making you do all this steamy stuff?
That's a good one.
Well, that is part of my job, and the more I'm convincing that part, I think the audience will love me more, and my directors will be convinced that I can do anything. I mean, I'm a versatile actor, but he regards my work as well. He has got some. He also has some list of films which he likes.
Like?
I think in a recent interview he has said some, like Raj Kahini, then I think. Parvita Ragdin, then Main Meri Patni Aur Wo, then like these some of the films he likes. And recently I think he hasn't seen Ajogyo as yet because he didn't get any time. But maybe, and he's very excited about Puratan, which is coming, Sharmila Tagore. He always wants me to do some quality work, and of course, and so that's the way it is. Because and also the long distance stuff. As you were telling me that, yes, sometimes it works also because you feel the pain and pleasure both of being together and not being together. So that is also something which is important in life.
Are there any heroes that he gets most offended by when you act or romance? Any heroes does he get like, oh God?
Now he has gotten used to romancing the heroes and all that. But sometimes he said that, well, I think I'm better than your heroes. So I said, yes, of course you are, because you're with me, always and ever.
I have to ask you. You worked with female directors, and I mean, really, Reena, they gave you that boost to your career with Paramita Ragdin. Is there a difference between the feminine gaze and the male gaze? When you work with a male director, when you work with a female director, do you feel there's a difference in the gaze and the way they, or it's a non-gender thing?
There is a difference, but not very pronounced though. I cannot see a very pronounced difference, but there are subtle differences, yes. Like, yes, when I worked with Aparna Sen, she's like, obviously she has her own way of doing things, and she has this tremendous opinions about certain characters, what we are doing, and she actually wants to mold you the way she wants to. And sometimes other female directors, they just give you, just your liberty to see a character, but Aparna Sen sees her character as the way she sees it, and she wants to just, you have to live up to her expectations, what she wants out of you. But Rituparna Ghosh had tremendous insight about that female gaze you're talking about. I mean, he had tremendous insight about female gaze, and he's the one who actually, I don't know how he imagined a character of a woman so well, and I could see a Romita in him, my character Romita, which I played in Dahan. So I could see Romita everywhere in Rituparna Ghosh. I mean, he became Romita for me. So I could see that, and so is Aparna Sen. When she actually believes in something, and she actually thinks that this is what Paramita should be. Her demeanor, the way she speaks, her intonations, her levels of the way she will talk when she's in South Calcutta. She's a South Calcutta girl. The way he will talk, and the North Calcutta women are completely different. So these kinds of stuff. So the very interesting nuances she used to take out, and I think I've learned a lot when I was doing Paramita, because that was also very initial stage of my career, and I was not that matured enough to know what is what, and so that how she actually guided me through a lot when I did Paramita. So if you're asking me about the gaze, yes, the gazes are different. I mean, when a female gaze have got a lot of intensity, and they can feel more intensely about the weaknesses or the strengths of a woman, and every woman has their own way of interpreting a character. So when I'm working with Satarupa Sanyal, she also has a different way of looking at things. When I work with Veena Bakshi, recently I worked with Veena Bakshi. She's a very independent woman, and so she has got that steel inside her. So that part of her, it actually reflected on my character. I think there are a lot of things you learn from female directors when you're working with them. So they have they are very everybody has their own way of interpreting a woman. So that is very interesting.
There are a lot of actors who say you need to have a social responsibility, but a lot of women get empowered by the kind of roles you do, and there is do you feel like whether you do Paramita Rektin or you do Praktan or you do Muktadhara and stuff like that. So do you feel like I remember Shabana as me once telling me somebody had just come outside her door saying help me out. So there were a lot of women who looked up to her for situations, which is great. But do you feel the burden that, oh my goodness, this role has to mean something to somebody, change somebody's life as an actor? Do you feel
no, I don't feel that kind of pressure, but at the same time I do feel happy when people come and tell me that what what you have done has changed my life. After Praktan, I've got many couples coming and saying, we actually changed our couple goals. We actually, your role in the film actually fascinated my wife, and we have come to terms with life. And then somebody once said to me that after seeing Praktan, we were going through hell in our relationship, but when we saw Praktan, we walked back home silently. Both of us never talked, and then we came back, we hugged each other and said that let's set up a home again. I choose my films with a lot of I actually go very deep into my characters, and I see that what kind of thing I'm getting out of it, what kind of kick, what kind of intensity I'm getting out of it. So when I feel that the role is very, very intense in itself, so when I perform it, that intensity comes out, and that actually touches somebody in their own way. So
which of your characters has moved you personally, or you've seen some shift within you yourself after doing that?
I think Rajkahini had a tremendous effect on me. Yeah. That was one of a kind role I've ever done in my life, and I didn't have any experience on that, and I didn't have any example to sort of actually follow or I've seen any character like that. Even after I did that character, I think Vidya did it for Begum Jaan. Then Gangubai, uh, Alia Bhatt did it. So, but I didn't have any reference of this kind of a character before. So it was very raw, very edgy, and Srijit actually made me do, you know, sort of not a workshop, but he actually instilled that whole, you know, it was a man trapped in a woman's body, and then that whole that growling effect, and that, you know, in the voice, the hoarseness in my voice, you know, I did it all, you know, very organically, and I actually used to.
Was it sing sounds?
Shout. No, afterwards we did the dubbing, because, you know, that gross voice has to get out of me, you know, like, you know, my vocal cord took a toll. My vocal cord was completely devastated after I did this film. But, you know, I was very disappointed when I didn't get a national award in this film, and I wrote after that it's such a difficult role, you know, I will not get every moment, every time. But that was one of them, and that actually took a huge toll on me, and that was very difficult role for me, you know, like playing that, you know, sort of a Kotheka girl, a woman, and so strong. So that one part, actually it's still with me, and it will always stay with me. I think some characters which actually made me think very deeply, like Olik Shuk, that movie which I did with Suchitra Bhattacharya, where she's torn between two lives.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. She's completely torn between two lives. One is her husband's.
He becoming the very successful
doctor, where he's
corrupt.
He's getting corrupted in a very subtle way, which he cannot understand. But the wife is understanding that he is losing her man. Into this in this
and then I think you lose your child also.
Losing a child, that's at the end. But, you know, all these things, you know, these are very interesting part of life which stays with you. And, you know, cinema is also something which also becomes a part in your life. So, you know, you cannot just completely take yourself away. Sometimes people say that, you know, we're just doing it and I just scoop myself away and go to the next thing. But it somehow it stays with you. I mean, you cannot just separate yourself completely.
What does it do to your mental health? You know, because obviously you're saying you cannot detach. Like, how do you deal with your anxieties? What does it do to your mental health? If I think of Alik Shuk or Dahan,
Muktudhara.
Muktudhara,
I worked with
or
the
even
inmates
like you
in the
said,
jail.
Rajkhani, physically there's a transformation. Did you have to ever go through therapy?
See, my healing process is a bit different. You know, when I do something, when I come out of it, and when I sit in my car, I be with it for a while, and then slowly I try to move. I try to detach myself, but not detach in that way. But sometimes, you know, if it stays with you also, it gives you some kind of comfort that, you know, I have been very true to my craft. I have not been a person who is just kind of doing it and just cutting it off as something, you know, it is like a loose fat in your body, you just cut it off. It's not that way. It is something which is very deep and insightful, which is also giving lessons of your life as well. So those lessons, I keep it with me. And then sometimes when in my life some situation comes, I sometimes feel that, in this movie actually I had this kind of a situation, so this is so real. You know?
So have you had like a breakdown, like a mental breakdown while doing a scene, or later suddenly something hits you 2 years later?
I had. When I did some scenes, I had tremendous trauma, and I just kept to myself, and then I came out of it slowly, but sometimes it hits you hard. So, many things in your life, it looks very like cinematic,
Yeah.
but it still happens
More real than
than anything else, because I saw these kinds of facts in my life. I saw people going through this kind of relationships. So all these things. So the line is very blurred between these two things.
Correct.
So you're walking in and out of these things. You cannot give those specifications that, I'm just out of it, I'm fine, and all that stuff. So if you are an actor, if you are really invested in your craft, then you will have the repercussion with you. It's not that you can just shrug it away like that.
But
That's
you've
that's what I feel.
Never had to go through therapy, or because we must normalize conversations about mental health. We must normalize it's okay. Like if you have diabetes,
No,
you take.
yes, I don't have any inhibitions about therapy. I actually like it, and I have many friends who are who deals with mental health, who are psychiatrists, who are counselors and all that. So I think in a way you actually love to talk to them. I'm not talking about getting a serious therapy, but if you also talk, and if you have a little conversation, and if you have a healthy conversation, it actually helps. And because conversations make your life much easy, rather than just keeping it to yourself, and you just keep it to yourself and you feel very suffocated, you struggle with it. So I don't think that's a very healthy way to see things.
Correct.
I think if you converse, if you have a healthy conversation, if you have a laugh, if you have a day after a long day's work, if you have a wonderful conversation with someone where you can laugh, you can just feel the light moments can actually make you feel more healthier. So I always believe in conversations and have a lovely chat or on anything whatsoever. But sometimes if I want to discuss it with my husband, maybe that is not a very good idea. He will say, sometimes he will be very curious. Sometimes he will say, yeah, why you need to do this? So yeah.
You were talking about Ajogyo and Praktan and all of that. So, and when the film was coming, it was touted as your 50th film with Prosenjit sir. So, tell me the first film, the kind of advice he gave you, and then of course you worked out for a very long time in Ajogyo. So, tell me about the entire, the way your relationship panned out, and the kind of advice he gave you in your first film, and the kind of conversations you had in your 50th film.
Oh, a lot of difference, because the first film was with him many years back, and that time he was a huge star and I'm just a newcomer. So obviously, that was a Suhag Raat Ka scene, first film. Can you imagine? I was like, oh my god, I'm working with Prosenjit, because he's a huge star, and Prosenjit Chatterjee, and but he made me very comfortable, and a new girl, and of course he was like, he said less, but he was caring, and he said that nahi ladki hai, so we have to cooperate and all that. And the best thing what I did was, tab to I didn't know how to sort of give a lip for a song and all that. So मेल का भी मैं गा रही थी, फीमेल का भी मैं गा रही थी. तो that was like, stop, she's singing the male version also. It was so funny. And I think sometimes later I felt, what was I thinking that time that I actually was giving the male lip sync. Oh my god, because I didn't have any idea about song as such. 1, 2, 3, start! Song chalta raha, and I thought I was singing everything was going on. So I mean, I assumed that I was singing the female version, but I eventually sang the male. So that was one very amusing part of.
Like, what is the kind of advice?
Yeah, so that time he said that nahi ladki hai, don't tense her, she will do it well and all that. So that time, but uske baad, few years later, I again worked with him, and that time he was like, Acha, you are so busy that you're not giving dates to our films and all that. So you better give the dates because all the directors are casting me and you. So that kind of thing. And he was a masterpiece in arranging the dates and all that. So he used to do it like that. So after many years, I again worked with him. Like in between, we didn't work for 15 years. And,
Wow,
yeah.
Why is that?
We did our last film, I think 2000, 2001, and after that there's a long gap, and we did again Praktan after 15 to 16. But again, Praktan was one of the biggest hits, I think.
Yeah, you're like this Dharam Hema pair of
yeah,
the
and it has seen the best of success. So we are very lucky and proud of it. And then came Drishtikone with Kaushik Ganguly. And that was again a runway hit. And again after 3 years we did Ajogyo. So Ajogyo.
So what is the kind of conversation?
So then he now it's been so many years and everything changed around us, and so Abhi he will always say that oh, so Ritu's dates are okay. So now I can work around that. So he has always given preference to my dates, and he has always given that priority to my my being in the film. And sometimes we have discussed things very maturely on maybe some scene or and he will obviously tell me that still you cannot take the proper light, still you cannot stand under he has to sort of make me face the camera more so that I get the priority and all that. So these are the few things still I'm weak on. So he will always, he's technically very good on that. So I get into the emotion and the character so much that I forget other things, that where to stand, where to get the light, how to take the preference in the camera. So but I think he is very good at it, and he has always helped me on that. So so now we have conversations like in industry, a lot of things are happening.
Like what is the greatest piece of advice he's given you, or like a lecture, full-on lecture, something that stayed with you in this last 25-30 years?
अभी तो सुधर जाओ, अभी तो टाइम पे आओ. कभी कभी, but not always. But sometimes he will say that that ऋतु लेट से आती है लेकिन काम पहले करके जाती है. No, I mean he actually respect and regard my space, and also we discuss a lot of things whenever some scene we have to work out together, and something we need to jointly talk to the director about a scene or something. So at that time we are always on the same page, and and whenever we are doing a film together, we always have we will always have discussions that since this pair is such a, I mean, it's a rage for our industry. So we are always very careful of doing a film together. We don't just jump on into any and every film, because every second day we are getting an offer of both of us to act in a film. But we are always very particular on that part we need to discuss, and we have to sort of do the right film for us. So those are the very mature discussions sometimes we have.
Can actors really be friends? Like they can be colleagues, but can actors really be friends? Like, have you had lasting female friendships? Have you had?
Yeah, why not? There are many friends. We talk. We actually sometimes, if you need a piece of advice, we call each other.
Like who?
Text each other.
Who are your close actors?
No, I can't specify, but I have got many female friends who are actors. Like sometimes so happens that when some role comes to me and I think that this one I don't think I'm the one who will fit in this, or this is not the role I'm just looking for right now. So I recommend to all my other female co-artists that you can just go and see her, or try her out in this character. It will be really good. So I have done it so many times, and I feel very good about it. That it is this character is deserving. I mean, for her, it is deserving.
Has it happened like a character which can talk about a film that you've offered to somebody? I mean, recommended somebody else. Has any film like that?
Yeah, many films have happened like this. I've recommended we have an actor called Chatterjee. I've recommended her in so many films. Even some film came to me, I said that no, this is not, you can actually cast some other girl. You can cast one time some character came to me that I think that no, I think this one, Chunki Di can do very well, like Devoshri Roy. Or I have talked about other actors, she can do very well. So I mean, this is the way I have done it so many times, and I feel so good about it, that somebody is getting somebody is getting their due, and that is because I personally, I feel after all these years, and I'm not an insecure person, and I don't carry any insecurity with me. I have done, I am doing, and I will be doing, and I know I have this space, and I will actually, I take charge of my own situation, and I act accordingly.
So what do we expect of you from Bollywood?
Yeah, Bollywood actually, this year I will be concentrating more on Bollywood, because I have a few releases to come up. One is definitely Ittar. I will love to speak about it. This is by director Veena Bakshi, again a female director.
Yeah.
And she's very strong. She's such a strong personality in theatre. And she had done that film called Coffin Maker with Nasruddin Shah and Randeep Hooda, and she had won an Ashwin Award there. And here it's also a very beautiful love story, very mature love story between me and Deepak Tijori. And Deepak Tijori is making a comeback in this film. It's very beautifully edged out. And I'm really waiting for the film to come, where I play a teacher. So this is, and then again a film with Revati called Good Morning Sunshine, which is about to release.
Again a female director.
No, that is directed by Revati has acted with me in that film,
nice.
Revati ji, but directed by Sanjay Nag. There's another film with Chandan Roy Sanyal called Salt, so that is also coming up. And then another film called Jihad. So I've just finished a few, and also Kal Trigori with Arbaz Khan and Sanjay Marjekar. So these are all the films I'm waiting for the releases to come up, and I'm working on a few right now. So my recent release of Puratan also is due in April.
Puratan is interesting. You, as a producer, you've taken on a subject of Alzheimer's, and again Sharmila like never before. So Rinkudi as this absolutely
she's amazing in the video. I've seen the film. It's amazing.
It's very nice.
And we are doing it in. We will be dubbing it in Hindi as well.
Is a producer a new avatar for you, or have you produced films before?
I produced. I did Ahare with Ranjan Ghosh. Beautiful. That was another beautiful film. Then.
But you're the cook. You started.
The cook story. It's a beautiful film again, and then we presented Parcel with Indrashish Acharya.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that is with Indrashish again a very interesting
Parcel
film.
Was a very
beautiful film. Yeah. Indrashish, another very beautiful film of mine is coming called Goodbye Mountains.
Okay.
Yeah, it's again a love story between me and Indranil Sengupta. So, and then another very interesting film coming called Madam Sengupta, where it's a thriller with Rahul Bose.
Nice.
So that movie is coming. And so, in Bollywood also these are the lineup I have, but I'm working on another few ones. But still I've not made a OTT debut, so I'm still waiting for the right one to come on my way. I had a few offers, but still I want to make it more striking and, recognizable, because,
Nice.
After a long time, if I'm coming on a OTT, it has to be really bang on. So waiting for the right ones to be on my way.
More power to you.
Thank you.
And finally, what's the nicest thing that has been said to you, and the worst piece of advice that you've got?
Nicest thing from
anyone.
So I have been said that I'm a very dependable actor, and I can range from A to Z, whatever I've given. And I've got a great compliment from Rituparna Ghosh once upon a time that I'm a great dubber. My dubbing skills are really good. So that one compliment I'm always very proud of, because whenever I'm dubbing in a studio, people now it's like very static dubbing. They do just their part and just move on to the next one. But when I was dubbing on the studio a few days back, the dubber stopped the recordist stopped his recording and looked at me and said, "Why can't you give some lessons to the newcomers about how to dub a film?" So that's one good compliment. The worst compliment, can't think of one right now. So
Something that inspired you to do better, or really broke your spirit, and you said, "No, I'll show you what I'm capable of." Something.
Yeah, not much that I heard of, but yeah, that one part, when I just started my career, when I just did my first film, a lot of people made very stray comments like that she's too fair, she has got light eyes, she has got a shrill voice, and we don't know whether she will be befitting for a Bengali film or a Bengali audience. But then I thought that maybe these are my drawbacks and I really need to work on it. But I didn't do anything very consciously, but eventually as my films came, I started looking different in all the films. And so maybe I'm thankful to all my makeup artists, my designers, and everybody who has contributed, all the directors who have actually showed me in the new light every time when I came on the screen. And I'm so indebted and grateful to all my directors and producers who have supported me, my audience, and everybody who has actually found a new me in me with every coming film and every happening film. So that's the way I think I'm blessed. And of course I actually started working. I actually give myself to it, and I've never thought that there's any shortcut in life. I have achieved everything in art till date. Whatever I'm facing, if I'm facing any hurdles, any hindrances, I know that I will have to go past it and win over it.
Nice. So may you continue to shine bright.
Thank you so
and
much.
shine on the screen. Thank
Yes.
you. It's been an absolute
Thank
privilege
you,
talking
Trish.
to you. Thank you so
Lovely
much.
speaking to you.
And before I let you go, I have an audience right here which has a few questions to ask
Of course.
you. They're huge fans of yours. Some of them want to ask you a few questions.
Definitely. Yes.
So hello ma'am, my name is Dinky and I would like to ask this question. If your life were a Bengali film, what would the title be?
Shivana?
Hello ma'am, my name is Shubhradeep and I just like to ask you a question that is there any film of yours that you wish got more recognition than it did?
Yeah. Rajkahini.
Hello ma'am, just wanted to know that have you ever experienced any kind of accidents while shooting in the floor?
Yeah, big one. Actually many. 2-3 accidents. One very recent when I was shooting for Dabaru. Shiva Prasad Nandita produced that film, and this was directed by Pratikrit. There was a scene where the stove, there was a vessel, and in it some khichdi was boiling, and the shot was the child is playing and that ball will he will drop the ball in that vessel, and and it will overturn and it will fall. But the ball fell in the vessel and the whole thing spluttered, and I just put my hand on the face, otherwise I would have had a burn over here, but here I actually got burnt. And then with that little strip of burn, I actually I worked putting all the bandages and bandage, which just happened last year on the set of Dabaru. And once I was doing Telugu film long back, and all those mock desks were kept. It was a fight scene. I didn't have any idea that those were not the real ones. I wanted to go up there and sit on one of the desks, and it just crashed, and I broke my right elbow. So there are many cases of accident, but yeah, I always take in it with the right spirit, because you cannot expect everything to go smoothly in this kind of a profession.
Hello ma'am, I'm Prosenjit, and my question to you is, which co-star from your time was the easiest to play a prank on?
I think Frank. I think Tota. Me and Tota, we had lovely prank sessions on sets.
Hello ma'am, like as you are the fashion diva of the Tollywood, like do you love the current fashion style, or like which trend are you following currently?
Right now, the fashion trend which I'm liking is that, I think we are having a lot of interesting sari fashion going on, with a lot of interesting motifs and a lot of interesting, drapes. So I think sari has always been a beautiful attire for a woman, and if it is uniquely worn, it looks fantastic.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
And before you go, let me gift you with a little token of our love.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
The hamper.
The hamper.